Hey, welcome back to this channel. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about percentage and running totals with quick analysis. As you saw in the previous lesson, the quick analysis feature provides a simple and easy way to add simple sum and average functions to rows and columns. The count function can be used in the same way to return the number of cells containing values present in a row or column. Quick analysis is also able to add some more complex functions to compute running total and percentage totals. Now let's open hours worked 1. It's a file from the session 1 sample files folder. I already have mine open, so I will enable editing. Okay, so your file should look something like this. Now the next thing we need to do is select every cell, or every cell that has, the entire range. The simplest way of selecting it is clicking inside and pressing your Ctrl and A buttons together on your keyboard. Now you will notice that the quick analysis button has appeared at the bottom right corner, which is right here. Now click it. Okay. Now let's use both quick analysis percentage total buttons to add percentage totals for each row and column. So totals, okay, percentage totals at the bottom for each column, as you can see, and then percentage totals on the right for each row. So percentage total right there. Okay, now let's understand how these totals work. If you look at cell B9, it is computing the total hours worked by Johnny Kane. See? How many hours are they? That is 43 hours worked by Johnny Kane. Now, that formula is also computing, it is computing the total hours worked by Johnny Kane, as you can see, the sum B4 to B8, divided by hours worked by all employees. All employees, so all these hours right here, how many are they? Look at the status bar. There are 212 hours worked by all employees. So in other words, of all the hours worked by all employees this week, Johnny Kane has worked 20.28% of those hours. Okay, now let's click in G4 and look at the formula bar. Sum B4 to F4, B4 to F4 represents the total hours worked on Monday, and then divide by sum B4 to F8, B4 all the way to F8, that is the total hours worked on all weekdays. So in other words, this is dividing the total hours worked on Monday divided by the total hours worked on all weekdays. So the ones on Monday were how many? Let's see. Look at the status bar. There are 46 hours divided by 212 hours. Okay, now let's delete columns G and row 9. Okay, the next thing we want to do is use the quick analysis column running total button to add a running total to cells G4 to G8. G4 to G8. So click inside the data, press Ctrl A, and then the quick analysis button, and then totals, running totals, running total. You can see a running total column has been added to cells G4 all the way to G8. Okay, so let's understand it. Let's understand it. Now click in cell G4 and let's see what's happening. Look at the formula. This formula is computing the sum of B4 to F4. B4 to F4. When we come here, it is summing B4 to F5. B4 to F5. So if you look at this, B4 to F5, the total is actually 87, which is right here. When you come to this, it is computing all the totals to that point, which are actually 130. So you can see what's happening here, B4 to F4. When you come here, it is B4 to F5. Let's use the formulas, the formula auditing features to understand this more. So click in cell G4, formulas, trace precedence. Okay, you can see that box, cells B4 to F4. Now let's remove the arrow. Now click in the next. Trace precedence. See? The range is now widening downwards. Remove arrows. Trace precedence. See? It is adding cells B4 to F6. Now remove the arrows. Okay. So you can see that in this case, there is an absolute reference right here, B4. That's why as you go down, it still remains the same, B4. When you pull the formula down, it will remain fixed because we have used the dollar signs. That's an absolute reference. Now look at the other one. The F4 changes to F5. The row keeps changing. F6, F7, and F8. That is a relative reference. So when the formula is typed that way and you fill it down, it will keep changing as it goes down. Thank you very much for your time. It's been nice having you today. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Have a blessed day or a blessed night, whatever the case may be. See you in the next lesson.